Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And let's talk some more about The Housemaid, your favorite movie from December of 2025. And as it stands right now, as of today, The Housemaid has made $307.3 million. That's a good amount of money for a movie that only cost $35 million to make. And then you add another, what, $70 million for marketing? Because it wasn't everywhere. Okay, it wasn't anywhere. It already had a niche audience. Okay, the women that read the book, all right, they were already expecting the movie to come out, so they already knew about it. Okay, so they didn't have to do all this multi-ad promotion or none of that stuff. No Super Bowl ads. Okay, no movie posters everywhere. Okay, no social media commercials over and over again. They didn't have to do all that for this. Okay, it wasn't like an Avengers movie or something like that, or Star Wars, where they just you can't go anywhere without seeing an ad for it. Okay, it wasn't like that at all. So they had to spend that much money on it. Okay, so it made a profit. It made a lot of profit. Okay, so that's good. That's good for everyone involved. Okay, which means that we're gonna get more of it. Okay, because Hollywood. Okay, the movie industry is suffering big time. They had a strike recently a couple of years ago. Remember that? And then COVID happened. Okay, so no one's going to the movies anymore. Okay, much less to see junk like this. Okay, this is something that should go to streaming. It's not something that belongs on. You have to spend $25 for a movie ticket. And then another $20 on popcorn. And another $8 on a soda, just to sit in the movie theater and watch this. Okay, nah, ain't gonna happen. All right, but it did. I mean, they released. I saw it in a movie theater. Okay, and it's still playing in a lot of theaters right now. Even though this movie came out over a month ago. Okay, this came out in December. I mean, we're already in February. So what the hell? Okay, but anyway, so the movie made a profit, which is good for Sydney Sweeney, because this is going to guarantee her more work now. Now she's going to be casting even more movies, because now she's proven that she can make a profit in Hollywood. She can lead a film franchise. So now we're going to see a lot more Sydney Sweeney. All right, and she is just riding this gravy train. Okay, she's starting to annoy me now. Okay, so she's got some boobs. She's got plenty of women have boobs. Okay, the girl I'm dating right now has boobs. Okay, so what the hell? Okay, yeah, they're cool to look at, but if you're already if you already date women that have them, it's no big deal anymore. If you're struggling to get women or something like that, then yeah, it's a big deal. Or if you don't have any, if you're a woman, you don't have any, it's a big deal to you. Okay, but for the girl I'm dating's got big boobs. All right, so what the hell? It's not like I'm just oh my God, Sydney Sweeney. Oh, no, not at all. I could take her or leave her. Okay, I've dated better looking than her. Okay, so it's not like she's the end all be all. All right, but she is really capitalizing on her popularity. Her Q score is through the roof right now, because she is she never said that she's a Trump supporter or nothing like that. She never said she's a conservative, but she always dodged questions when libtard reporters would ask her, okay, who'd you vote for? Or she would always dodge those questions. Okay, or she would shut down the interview, like she did recently when that libtard try to get her to admit, okay, do you think that maybe your ad on jeans, okay, was culturally insensitive? Do you want to speak on that? I'm giving you an opportunity. She's like, when I want to talk about something like that, I'll talk about something like that. Next question, that kind of thing, So it's yeah, she shut it down good, which means in Hollywood today, it means that if you don't answer that question, the reporter's going to trick you into answering, then you are the other side. Okay, which you're by default, you are a Trump supporter, thereby you are the enemy, thereby we gotta get rid of you. Okay, because Hollywood will not tolerate any conservatives at all, much less a Christian conservative. And Sydney Sweeney, I think she's from Texas. She went to a family reunion or something with her parents and her brothers and said they're all cowboys, listening to country music. So you know what that means? That means they're more than likely they're Christian. Okay, which means if you're Christian in Hollywood, you're the enemy. You are the enemy. Okay, you can be any other religion. You can be Jewish. They prefer Jewish, actually, because you'll look at the people that run Hollywood. Most of them are Jewish. That's just not the people that run Hollywood. It's also the actors and stuff. They're all Jewish. Okay, but Christianity, hell no. Christianity is the devil. Okay, the only time that Hollywood ever makes a movie that has Christianity is when they're making fun of Christianity. Okay, when they're making fun of it. Okay. Once again, Hollywood is in a bubble. Okay, they they seem to think the United States consists of, Portland, Washington State, California, New York, New England. That's it. Everything else in between, the middle does not exist. Okay, we don't care. They don't matter. Those people don't matter. They're not the right people. You see what I mean? And this is just another example of it. Okay, there's a reason that stuff doesn't get greenlit. Okay, I just watched a Disney Plus show. Okay, called Wonder Man. Okay, and I'm a comic book nerd. Most of you know. I mean, obviously, I'm a comic book nerd. Okay, and I know who the character of Wonder Man is from the comic book. First of all, he's white. Okay, he's not black. He's white. Number one. Okay, and also this show had nothing to do with superheroes. It wasn't even about the superhero Wonder Man. It's about two actors. One is a has-been, and the other one is a never was. And they're both trying to get hired to be in a movie, to star in a Wonder Man movie. And it's just ridiculous. What the hell is this? What does this have to do with fighting crime? What does that have to do with super villains? There's no bad guy. We just get 8 episodes of a guy feeling sorry for himself. And when he does some good fortune, he's just a jerk. He's just a narcissistic jerk. When things do go his way, eventually he just becomes a jerk. A prima donna. And I'm like, oh, come on, what the hell am I watching this for? Okay, oh, I know why I'm watching it for, because the main character is not white. And the cool thing about that, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is there's an allegory in there, okay, where it turns out that the main character, who's not white, even though in the comic book he's white, he has a secret. Ooh, and he can't let anybody know, or else they won't let him be an actor. Okay? They'll ban him from acting. Okay? So he has to keep this a secret. Nobody must know. Get it? Get the allegory? Get the metaphor? Okay, well, the secret is that he's straight. Yeah, it's like Three's Company all over again. Okay, he's straight. But in Hollywood, that's a death sentence, especially if you're a man. So even though he's a black guy, which gives him some points, like I said, can't be a white guy, can't be a straight white Christian guy. Okay, but he's straight, and he's got to hide it. Okay, he's got to put himself in the closet. He's got to pretend to be gay, so that he'll get hired, so he'll get considered for the movie role. Okay, and I'm just like, what the hell, dude? This is and the fact that the people that made this TV show don't even realize what they're saying. Okay, it just overwhelms me. Okay, they think they're being smart, but they're not. Okay, they think that they're putting one over on us, but it's so clear what they're doing. They're so anti-homophobic that they went straight to heterophobic, and they don't even realize it. Anyway, so just stuff like that. Okay, and that's what this movie is. Okay, this movie is a bunch of misandry. Okay, there's only two types of men in these movies. Okay, there's either the incels that you don't even notice. Okay, like Enzo, for the groundsman here. You don't notice him. He's nothing. He's not important. Okay, I mean he has no agency. He can't do anything. He can't save anybody. He can't help anybody. He can't do shit. He's just there. You don't notice him. The only time anyone talks to him is when they try to get information from him. Not because, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Hey, I'm Millie. I'll be working here. No one asks him how he's doing or what's going on with him, because it doesn't matter. Because he doesn't matter. Okay, and that's where 99.9% of all the men in these movies, they fall into that category. They're just invisible to women. Women don't notice them. They don't care about them. Never care about them. And that goes for real life too. I mean, do you really pay attention to the guy that took your order at McDonald's drive-thru? Do you really ever look at him? Do you ask him how he's doing? Okay? Or how about the guys that take out your garbage? Okay? Do you care about them at all? All right? Of course not. They're just there. Okay? They're just there, but they're not there. They have no consequence to you, so they don't matter. Okay? And then you got the 0.001%. Okay? Those are the alpha chads, the studs, the hot guy. They got the ripped abs and the square jaw, and the money, and the personality and stuff, right? He's like 6'2", hung to his shoe, all that kind of stuff, He's so sweet and kind and funny and confident, and suave. And those are the only men that matter to women in these movies, okay? That's what we get here. Well, that's pretty much every chick flick, but especially here, okay? But here's the problem. That 0.001% of the men that's represented in this movie, portrayed by the character of Andrew Winchester, okay? That percentage of man is both the desire and the problem, okay? Because those are the only type of men that the average woman, or even the above average woman, want to date, okay? That's who they go for, okay? Every other guy is a consolation prize. Oh, God, well, I can't do better, so I'll settle, okay? But if they had their own if they had their pick, every woman would choose that type of guy because he's rare. That makes him more valuable, okay? All right, and so those are the guys that women are attracted to. Those are the ones that they give it up for. You don't have to buy, you don't have to buy her flowers or nothing like that. You don't have to buy her chocolates. No, she's gonna freely give it up to him, okay? Without having to do any of that shit that a normal guy would have to do just to get her attention, okay? So, so that type of guy is both the desire and the problem, okay? Because although those are the guys that she will jump on his bone like that, those also tend to be the same guys that screw over women because, when the women are free, why would you buy one? You see what I mean? Okay, so those are the guys that tend to have multiple sexual partners. Those are the guys that cheat. Those are the guys that promise women, hey, I want a serious relationship with you, and then she finds out that he's fucking her best friend behind her back. Okay, those are the guys that do that stuff because they can. They have options. Okay? And those are the guys that really, really hurt women. Okay, those are the ones when women say that men are all assholes, they're talking about that guy. Okay, they're not talking about the fucking garbage guy that they don't fucking pay attention to. Okay, that said hi to him once and she blew him up. They're not talking about that guy. That guy's invisible to her. And I'm talking about the high value guy, the one that her and all her girlfriends want to fuck. And that she did fuck, only to find out he fucked her girlfriends too. And they lied about it. You see what I mean? That guy's the problem. Okay, it's both the desire and the problem. Okay, and chick flicks only deal with that guy. They don't deal with the average guy. Okay, you see what I mean? And I get it because they're trying to sell you a fantasy. Okay, and that's the guy that the romance novels are about. Okay, well, in the romance novels, the guy like that is faithful and loyal and loving. Okay, in real life, no, they're just cunt hounds. Okay, they fuck a lot of women. They're gonna fuck a lot of women because they can. Because a lot of women want to fuck them. You see what I mean? Okay, but yet all women judge all men by this. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But yet that's what we get. That's where feminism comes in. Oh, because men are all pieces of shit, just like that guy over there. Well, why is it like men are all shit? Because the guys that you fuck are all shit. Okay, and the reason they're shit is because they get multiple pussy thrown at them. That's why they're shit. Because they don't have to be good. Because they're going to get laid no matter what you fucking do. They're going to get laid whether you hate them or whether you love them. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you. Okay? Because they've already conquered your ass. They've already Marco Polo'd you, you fucking dumb bitch. What the fuck else is there to do? Especially if you have an overinflated ego. You see what I mean? Okay? And this movie is painting all men like that type of guy. And because all men are evil and cruel and like to hurt women, then a woman needs to rise up and put them in their place. See what I mean? That's the housemaid. That is who she's like, the superhero, okay, for women that got fucked over by men. Okay? That's who she is. Okay? You notice there's no superhero out there for men that got fucked over by women. There's no guy out there who's just gonna seduce all these women that fucked over their boyfriends and then give them shit. The ones that sued him for alimony, even though they were cheating on the husband the whole time. The ones that took his kids away from him, even though he did nothing to deserve that. There's no, the false rape allegation was a woman. There's no man, super good looking man who's going to go out there, okay, and bring those women to justice for what they did to these innocent poor men that did nothing wrong. You notice there's no fucking movie about that anywhere? But But sexism, right? Yeah, men are all sexist, right? Right? Even though we don't have a fucking movie like that. We don't have a character like that. We got no fucking house man, okay, that fucking does that shit for us. No, we get nothing like that. And Hollywood never will, because the women always come first. You see what I mean? This is a load of fucking shit. I'm sick and tired of these goddamn fucking movies blaming men for everything. How about women just take fucking accountability for their own goddamn choices? Like, what the fuck, man? Nobody told Nina Winchester to fuck her professor? Nobody made her do that. Nobody made her a single mom. She did that to her fucking self. Like, what the fuck? Nobody forced fucking Millie to start working at this fucking psycho house. She chose to do it, even though the red flags were all fucking there, and she still chose to do it. She still chose to stay there. You see what I mean? And I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit. Nobody told Millie to do what she did to go to jail, to go to prison for, okay? She didn't have to go on. She could have done a little bit, and that would have been enough. But instead, she did a lot more than was required, okay? You see what I mean? That's on her. That is on her. You see what I'm talking about? So, this movie tries to justify these things because men are all bad. So therefore they deserve, because look at how horrible this guy is. What the hell, dude? You're talking about 0.001% of the male population out there. But yet all men deserve some sort of avenger out there, okay? To take down all the evil men in the world. Get the fuck out of here. Who's taking down all the evil women in the world? Nobody. Nobody. How is that equality? Ladies, how is that equality? You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Why don't they make a movie, okay, called The Teacher? And it'll be a man. I know, somebody call Ripley, but yeah, a man will actually be the teacher, okay? And his job will be to hunt down every single 20-something and 30-something-year-old woman who's married, who's having sex with her underage students. And his job will go from different school to different school, to hunt them down, gather the evidence, earn their trust, and then boom! They walk right into a room full of cops. You're under arrest for improper activities with a minor. And then her face will be on TV and everything, and then her husband's going to find out, her children are going to find out, the whole neighborhood's going to find out, all the parents are going to find out, and it's going to be and then all of a sudden they're all going to be looking at the school, like, how could you hire a woman like that? Make a series of those movies. You know what? Because that shit happens in real life. That shit's happening in real life, and nobody's making movies about that. Let's get an Avenger out there. I guarantee you, okay, millions and millions of men will go see that movie. They will. They will. Because just like this movie is cathartic, there's a lot of women out there that have issues with men, that are mad at men for whatever reason, whether real or imaginary, okay? And they like to watch movies where men get what's coming to them for the way they treated women, okay? That's what this is. This is a movie to evoke those feelings of revenge that a lot of women have towards the high value men that fuck them over. Okay? Okay, this is their fantasy, to have some hot ass girl come in here and take care of guys like that, make them suffer for what they've done. Okay? I get it, okay? But you know what? Men have the exact same feelings, okay? There's a lot of bad women out there. I know you never know that from watching these movies, okay? But there's a lot of bad women out there that treat men like crap, that have done a lot of damage to men. Just because they don't overpower us physically doesn't mean they can't fucking hurt us really bad and do damage. They most certainly can. You see what I mean? But there's no movies about that. You see? Where's the justice for them that they have coming to them? Where's the movie about that? And better yet, have a man do it. Crickets. Crickets. That's misogynistic. That's sexist. Toxic masculinity. Hey, you know what? Toxic goes both ways. Men have it and women have it too. Where's the fucking equality? There isn't any. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Because if they ever made that movie, The teacher, the guy that goes out there busting all the women, I guarantee you it will be it will break all sorts of box office records. You know why? Because men have been waiting for a movie like that and they haven't gotten it. Because Hollywood won't give it to them. Because Hollywood won't let them have it. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Oh my God, if I was in Hollywood right now, I could tell you right now, they'd be making trillions of dollars. Okay? All you have to do is take the focus off of the women and put it on the men for just a couple of movies. And you're gonna see a splurge of fucking profit. Men are gonna finally go to the theater and get what they fucking want for a change, because they haven't had that in fucking 12, 15 years. The theaters there'll be a line out the fucking block to get into a theater. The way it used to be, like in the 70s and stuff. You know? But Hollywood won't do it. Because women. It's a load of shit, okay? Women have been bitching about their fucking rights and shit since the goddamn 60s, okay? It ain't the fucking 60s anymore, for Christ's sake. Look around you. It ain't that world anymore. It hasn't been that world in a long fucking time. Hollywood just needs to fucking get over yourself. The feminist movement fucking happened a long fucking time ago. It's over. God damn. How long do men have to keep fucking being treated like shit in these goddamn movies? Or portrayed as shit in these goddamn movies? But so if someone starts giving a shit about what we want, about what we think, God damn, we can't even have a guy movie without some fucking third-wave fucking feminist standing right next to him telling him what a piece of shit he is for 2 hours. God damn. All right. And this movie's no better. Okay. Not only does this movie make women look like they're fucking stupid, it sends this message that it's okay to break the law to fucking go after men that do bad things. You see what I mean? But you could never go the other way around. You see, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So where we left off last time, okay, we had those bitches, those rich bitches, the moms that don't work but complain about men. Either men all suck or their husbands all suck, but they do like to talk about how hot Andrew is, okay? The tea party scene, you know what I'm talking about, okay? When Nina's there, she walks away to answer her phone, and all the women that are there talk shit about Nina when Nina's not in the room, even though they are guests in her house. And they're saying all this horrible things about Nina while Nina's housemaid, Millie, is standing right there refilling their teacups. Who the hell would ever fucking do that? This is what I'm talking about. This movie makes no fucking sense. Who the fuck read this script and thought it was okay? Okay, this is a load of shit. If they're going to talk shit about Nina, they're not going to do it when the fucking housemaid is right in front of them. Okay, you see what I mean? All right, so all that's going on here. Okay, the next scene after that, okay, we learned some stuff about Nina. She was in a psychiatric ward, okay, stuff like that. That she was broke when she married Andrew. So Andrew has all the money. Nina has no money, but she's married to him, so she has the benefits of his wealth, okay? But even Andrew, fucking, well, he was born wealthy, so it's not like he had to work to earn the money or nothing. Anyway, moving right along, okay, in her journal, okay, because, you know, Millie has to write in her journal. Her parole officer is making her write in her journal every day. So earlier in the movie when we got her voiceover, okay, it was her reading out from her journal, okay? Okay, in her journal, Millie writes about how much of a saint Andrew is for putting up with Nina. Okay, so Millie's starting to get wet for Andrew. Andrew is the man that owns the house. Okay, he's the dad. Okay, that's Nina's husband. Okay, Nina, of course, is the psycho bitch that hired Millie. Supposedly without doing a background check, because she had done a background check, she would have found out that Millie was in prison for 10 years, okay? And it wasn't for fucking jaywalking either, okay? But apparently that didn't happen. She hired her anyway. This hot-ass girl, young woman with big titties, okay, to be the housemaid in her house, okay, with her super sexy husband and her 7-year-old daughter. Like that would ever happen in real life, okay? Without even checking to see if her resume was real or not, all right? Yeah, right. Okay, anyway. So the more Millie's been working there, she's been cozying up to Andrew because Andrew treats her nice, whereas Nina is a lying, backstabbing piece of shit. One moment Nina's complimenting Millie how great she is. The next moment she's spreading lies about her and blaming her for shit that she didn't do and calling her a liar, and throwing things at her and throwing a tantrum, and getting violent, all that shit. All right. So Millie cannot stand Nina, but she really, really wants to fuck Andrew. Okay. So that's all going on here. But yes, she still wants to work there. I understand that she needs a job or else she'll go back to prison to finish her sentence, okay? But she just needs a job. She doesn't necessarily have to work in this house, okay? I mean, it's not safe. There's way too many red flags, okay? She's turned on by the head of the house, okay? The other head of the house treats her like absolute shit and lies about her and makes her perform all these tricks like she's a fucking dog. Okay. Oh, go get my daughter from ballet. Don't be late, but you're not telling her where the fuck the ballet school is. Shit like that. Okay. Book me this, do that for me. All that kind of shit. It's ridiculous. All right. I mean, even her room's not safe because her room is basically in the attic. It's a dungeon up there. There's one window she cannot fit through, even if she could get it open, which she can't. It's one big heavy oak door that locks from the outside. So anybody could lock her in there. She wouldn't be able to get out. The room is fucking soundproof. Yet she still chooses to live there, to take the job. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, she's upset that Nina lied to her about being pregnant. That's right. Those bitches talked about they asked Nina if she's pregnant, and Nina says she's not yet. But that's not what Nina said when she interviewed Millie. She told Millie the reason that Nina needs a housemaid. Okay, because remember she doesn't work. Nina doesn't work. She's a housewife, stay-at-home housewife. Okay, the reason she's a housemaid is because she's going to be expecting soon. That's why. Okay, well, it turns out that was a load of shit. She even told Millie that she was taking all sorts of hormones, to get her, to get her fertile, and that's how she conceived, right? But no, it turns out that was all bullshit. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, so she's not pregnant after all. Okay, so it's not hormones. Nina is just crazy. So it's not the hormones that Nina said she was taking. Nina is just crazy. Okay, she's psycho. Okay, like I said, those women admitted that Nina had been in a fucking psychiatric hospital. Okay, so all that's going on here. Okay, and Millie can't wait to save up enough money, okay, from this job, because remember, she doesn't have to pay rent. She lives there, so she gets free meals. Okay, she gets one day off a week, Saturday, but Nina won't let her go anywhere on Saturdays. Okay, so once she has enough money, she's gonna fucking book out of there. Okay, that's her plan. Okay. And while this is all going on, while she's writing her journal, all of a sudden, boom, the door opens, and it's Nina. She didn't knock. She didn't say, hey, Millie, can I come in? I need to talk to you. None of that. She just threw open the door and standing right there, all with her crazy look on her face. All right, so of course, Millie's all like, oh, what is it now? Okay. And Nina says, today wasn't a total disaster. Now, the reason Nina's saying that is because Nina fired Millie earlier. Fired her when she caught her downstairs watching Family Feud with her husband. Okay, but then she gave her a second chance. Okay, she gave her a second chance. Okay, she said, but you better dress more appropriately from now on and stay the fuck away from my husband. Okay, so Millie has been staying away from Andrew, even though she wants to fuck him. Okay, and she barges in the room and tells her, okay, well, today it wasn't a total disaster. Okay, I need you to watch Cece next Saturday. Okay, which is, like I said, that's Millie's day off is Saturday. That's the only day off she has. But Nina pulls shit like this to make her work during her one day off a week that she has. I need you to watch Cece next Saturday. I know it's your day off, but I doubt that should be a problem. Like that, right? Because Andrew and I have to go into DC for an appointment. All right, so that kind of bullshit. So of course, Millie agrees to do it. Okay, next Saturday comes and Millie checks out Nina's medicine cabinet while they're gone. Okay, remember, she's babysitting Cece. While she's gone, she runs into their bedroom, the master bedroom, and sees what kind of drugs Nina's been taking. And sure enough, she's taking psychedelics. She Googles it. She holds the bottle in one hand and Googles it. And sure enough, Nina is fucking psychotic. Okay, she's taking medication for it. Okay, like she has psychosis. Okay, and schizophrenia. So she's taking medication for schizophrenia and psychosis. Okay. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, Millie starts secretly calling other places. okay, trying to get a job. Like she's on the phone talking to someone, going like, "Hey, is that warehouse position available?" You know, because because if it is, I wouldn't mind taking that. You know, so she's looking for another job. Now, while she's in the kitchen doing this, talking to her phone, Cece, the 7-year-old daughter, walks in. That's Nina's daughter. Okay, she walks in and overhears some of it. So the first thing Cece says is, "Are you planning on quitting and leaving here?" And of course, Millie's like, "Oh, no, you just mustn't have heard that. You just misheard what I was talking about. That's all. No. Hey, you want something to eat?" You know, like they're all nervous and shit, right? You know? Okay, so that's going on here, okay? So Millie tries to be friends with Cece. Tries to be, okay, so how you doing at school? You know, are there any boys you have a crush on? That kind of shit, you know? And Cece's like, you know, you don't have to be, because Cece, the 7-year-old girl, she's another piece of shit too, okay? She treats Millie like shit as well. Like, if the glass isn't clean enough, she won't drink her orange juice out of it until Millie cleans it or gets her another glass that's cleaner. You know, that kind of shit. You know, because drinking orange juice is a privilege. That kind of shit, right? Little fucking bitch. Anyway, so she says, like, you don't have to be my friend, you know. It's not part of the job. You know? Okay, I know you don't like me. All that kind of, you know, just like gaslighting Millie, okay? Everyone treats her like shit. The only one who treats her nice in this house is Andrew. That's why she's creaming for him, okay? That's why she wants to jump his bones so bad, because he's the only, not only is he super good looking, super rich, you know, super smart, super cute, super nice, you know? I mean, this guy is good looking, handsome, and attractive. I mean, he's fucking everything, all right? And he's rich. So, I mean, he's the home run. So, of course, she's all wet for him, you know? So that's going on here. Okay, later on, Cece reenacts. Later on, they're playing in the dollhouse. There's a room that has a big dollhouse for Cece. Okay, you know, there's got dolls in there with parents inside the dinner table, all that kind of stuff. So Millie's in there with Cece while Cece's playing. Okay, she's playing with her dolls in her dollhouse. Okay. And she reenacts the whole, like, juice is a privilege thing with the mommy and the daddy dolls, okay, and in her dollhouse, okay. And Millie notices something in the dollhouse. She notices that there's a little blue hair troll on top of the dollhouse. Now, we've seen this blue hair troll before, okay. It was on Millie's dashboard in her car, okay. I guess that's her good luck charm or something. And then when she moved into the house, she brought it with her into her room. Okay, so clearly Cece, at some point when Millie wasn't around, Cece went into Millie's room and stole that blue-haired troll and put it in her dollhouse. So now Millie just sees this and goes like, "Have you been inside my room?" You know, that kind, which of course is inappropriate. You know, and she tells her, "You do not go into my room." That kind of stuff. All right, you know. She says, "This is very special to me. Okay, I don't want you going into the attic room, okay? You need to stay out of there, okay?" And then Cece's like, "Well, so do you." You know, because, you know, she's a little bitch. She's a little bitch, just like her mom. Okay, anyway, moving right along. So Nina and Andrew return. They arrive, like, immediately after this, okay? They arrive home, okay, and Nina, it just, like, sticks her head in the dollhouse room. She's clearly been crying. She's upset. And then she walks away, and then Andrew walks in. He sticks his head in there, like, you know, that kind of thing. And then he asks Cece to leave because he wants some privacy with Millie. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, so the next scene is they're downstairs in the kitchen. Okay, it's just Andrew and Millie there. Okay, Andrew tells Millie that Nina's ovaries can't be fertilized. There's something wrong with her. Okay, so she can't get pregnant. Okay, that's why they went, you know, today to the doctor. Okay, is to find out if they can conceive, and they can't because Nina's ovaries aren't any good. Okay. And Andrew tells Millie, I don't know why the fuck he's telling the housemaid all this personal shit. He tells Millie that he's always wanted to have a big family. You know, he like a soccer team full of kids. That's what he wants, a soccer team full of kids, you know? Okay? That's what he's always wanted. Okay, and Millie's like, well, what about Cece? And then Andrew reveals something, okay, that we didn't know. Okay? He tells her, it's like, I am Cece's father. Okay, that is my daughter. I'm just not her biological father. Okay, you know, that's the thing. That's what he tells her. Okay, you know, so yeah, so he wiped up a fucking single mom. Yes. Okay? This is the bullshit I'm talking about. This is why I give you a straight man's point of view. This is the bullshit I'm trying to tell you here, okay? Okay, this movie takes place in Lollipop Land. Okay. A super good looking, super rich, super attractive, super smart guy like Andrew, okay? Who's straight and tall and handsome, ripped abs, big cock, everything, okay? He's got everything, all right? It's not gonna wipe up a fucking single mom. Ripley don't believe that shit, but this movie expects you to believe it. Now, ladies, I know that's your fantasy. I get it. A lot of you are lonely. It's hard to date when you have to find a babysitter and shit. I get it. You're so hoping your Prince Charming will come. Well, let me tell you something, okay? Prince Charmings, okay, those guys that you like, the ones that are the 9s and the 10s, okay? Those guys ain't gonna they're gonna fucking raise a kid that ain't fucking theirs. Okay? They're not. No guy wants that. No high value man wants that. Let me rephrase that. No high value man wants that. You see what I mean? Do you think Leo DiCaprio is going to fucking date single moms? Fuck no. Why would he? He's up to his fucking chin in goddamn fucking 23-year-olds with no kids. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. This movie's bullshit. God damn, it's just feeding you. It's like feeding you this shit sandwich that you ladies are fucking just, let me get some more. Get the fuck out of here. There are guys that will wipe up a single mom, but it's not guys like this. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. A lot of you ladies think this shit is real. Y'all think that you fucking deserve a 10. You're not gonna get a fucking 10 because you're not a fucking 10. These movies just tell you that you are. What the fuck? All right, so all this is going on here, blah blah. Of course, of course. Andrew sees Cece as his own daughter, because every woman knows that it is every high-value man's desire, okay, to raise and support another man's fucking kid, okay? And if you believe that shit, I got a bridge I want to fucking sell you. Hey, I'm sorry, ladies, I know the truth hurts. And I know that no fucking movie, no TV show, no romance novel, none of that fucking shit that you consume is going to tell you this. Because they don't want you to think about it this way. They don't want you to know that. I'm fucking telling you the truth. You can hate me all you fucking want, but at least I'm not fucking lying to you. Most men don't want to raise a child that's not theirs. And I'm a single dad. So before you start fucking pointing the finger at me, let me tell you something. The reason I'm a single dad is because my son's mother passed away. Okay? My son's mother passed away. Okay? I didn't cheat on her and fall in love with another woman and take her daughter away from her and made her fucking pay me child support and alimony. No. And I kept the house. No. That's why I'm a single father. But damn. Swear to fucking God, man. The fact that you women believe this stuff. All right, anyway, moving right along. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's not likely. That's what I'm saying. Not likely. And especially now, if the guy doesn't have his own kids, it's more believable. If this high-value man has 3 or 4 kids or some shit from a previous marriage or whatever, then it's more believable that he'll wipe up a woman that already has her own baggage. Okay? That would be more believable. But that guy like that's not high value. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. All right. So all that's going on here, okay. Andrew says that I don't think Nina can handle the disappointment, and I don't think I'm enough. So he's telling Millie that he's afraid that Nina is going to have another meltdown because she can't conceive kids. that she's not going to be able to handle the fact that she's probably not going to ever get pregnant again. And he's like, and I can't stand to see my wife that way, to feel that way about herself. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid, Millie, that I'm just not enough for her. Just like that. Of course, Millie's like, no, the problem's not you. Come fuck me. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah. Something like that, all right? All right, I'm getting upset, okay? I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review of this worthless piece of crap movie called The Housemaid. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.